Hi class, I'm here today to present to you what is academic writing and to go over a few of the things that academic writing is and isn't to help you determine how to make sure you can use academic writing in your own work. First of all, you know what academic writing isn't. It isn't chatting or texting or email, and you can recognize it when you see it, like at the library. Basically, the point of academic writing is scholars writing for other scholars. They are educated people that are communicating with each other, and as part of the university, now you are an educated person writing and being a part of this community. We often call it an academic discourse community. So one of the things that you probably want to know as you start to go forward is how can you write something that is academic? And so some of the things that we want to look at are what are the conventions used in academic writing. The first one is academic diction, and academic diction is looking at your word choice and what you're using. You want to make sure to use precise and specific vocabulary with no empty generalizations. So what do we mean exactly by that? The exact meaning is something that is very specific. So for instance, writing that coffee is drunk by millions of people all over the world is not so exact. And more precise would be Americans consume 400 million cups of coffee per day, 35% of the world's total consumption. Now we have an exact number and we can picture this more specifically. The reason that you want to use that specific vocabulary is because it shows knowledge of the subject. Again, this is a very general example. And then more specific is a linguist may specialize in phonology. So look at that and making your language very specific in terms of academic diction. Why do they need to be avoided, these empty generalizations? Well, basically, they're presented as general truths and sweeping statements, and it's very difficult for us to understand exactly what you're talking about as a scholar. For something like, throughout history, people have yearned for freedom. We don't know exactly what you're talking about, and it doesn't have any real meaning. We don't know when this has happened. It's very similar, I apologize, that just popped up, to this idea of, like the phrase, since the dawn of mankind, which really doesn't have much meaning. So these meaningless phrases really don't have any place in academic writing. The second thing that you want to really look at is building on the work of credible sources. Credible sources are necessary in order for you to really kind of show that you're an expert by using other experts. And so you'll want to quote, paraphrase, and summarize experts on the topic. So one of the things that you want to start to look at is who are these experts on the topic. And the way that we decide that is that credible sources have degrees in the relevant discipline, so you're going to use other scholars who know what they're talking about, whether it be in biology or English, or that if they have first-hand knowledge of the relevant phenomena. Credible sources also cite each other's work, all right? And when you check on their quotes and paraphrases and bibliography, you can see that these experts are basing their work off of other experts, and then you're starting to become an expert yourself. And we call this, and building your own credibility, academic ethos. The third thing that you want to look at in terms of academic writing is to anticipate objection. And so you want to really make sure that you give a voice to the opposition so we can understand the other side of the argument that you may have, and that you are intelligently debating that and talking about that. So what is the opposition? They may have doubts or objections that any skeptical reader might have, and you can acknowledge a contrasting side or consider multiple viewpoints. You may also possibly concede a point and say, well, this isn't perfect, but this is the way, the best way in order to do something. You show your academic ethos by kind of establishing this credibility and trust and acknowledging that you understand multiple viewpoints or other sides of a possible story. The last thing that you want to really look at in terms of the academic genre is to look at those specific conventions. So you'll want to figure out what are those rules for writing a specific lab report, academic essay, or article. Specifically in the Writing 39 series, there's many academic essays, and a few of the things that are required in the conventions of this is that it is a thesis-driven essay as well as an essay that is structured. It is linear with each new section making a specific point. So overall, what is academic writing? It has these 4 components: the academic diction, credible sources, anticipating objection, and the specific genre conventions. All of these will help build your academic credibility, and remember again, that is academic ethos, to show that you are also becoming an expert in this topic that you've written about.